Marvel star Anthony Mackie bizarrely claims the MCU is limited by comic book canon. Quote, there's only so much creativity you can bring to the table because Stan Lee gave us so much content. Did he take the Tide Pod challenge? Is that what happened here? This story comes to us from Spencer Bakuli over at Bounding Into Comics. Today, we're delving into some controversial comments made by Anthony Mackie, aka the MCU's Captain America, regarding the Marvel Cinematic Universe's creative limitations. Brace yourselves because it's about to get a lot more dumb. So Anthony Mackie recently spoke out about the MCU's supposed lack of creativity, attributing it to the overwhelming content provided by Stan Lee. According to Mackie, the MCU is hamstrung by the sheer volume of the material Stan Lee left behind. But hold on a second. Are we really going to entertain the notion that the MCU, with its multi-billion-dollar success, is creatively stifled by the rich tapestry of Marvel Comics? Let's examine this claim with a critical eye. Mackie seems to suggest that because Marvel Comics has nearly a century of storytelling under its belt, the MCU is constrained to follow in its footsteps. But let's not forget that Marvel Comics is bursting at the seams with epic sagas, intricate character arcs, and mind-bending plot twists. If anything, this wealth of source material should serve as a wellspring of inspiration for filmmakers, not a shackle. Sure, Mackie points out a few deviations from the comics in the MCU Phase 2 and beyond, but let's be real here. These deviations are a drop in the ocean compared to the vast potential for original storytelling that Marvel Comics offers. Let's not kid ourselves. The MCU has held its fair share of groundbreaking moments, but also had its massive missteps. I mean, She-Hulk. Daredevil Born Again, or as Josh calls it, Josh Berger, editor at Bounding Into Comics, he calls it Daredevil Try Again. I love that, Daredevil Try Again, because that's what they're doing. They're trying again to do what Netflix did nearly flawlessly. And so, ultimately, Mackie's comments come off as short-sighted and dismissive of the incredible storytelling potential that the Marvel universe, the comics universe, offers. Instead of pointing fingers at Stan Lee, perhaps it's time for the MCU to step up its game and tap into that rich tapestry of Marvel Comics for inspiration. What's the takeaway from all of this, right? It's clear that Mackie's comments have stirred up some controversy, but let's not lose sight of the fact that Marvel Comics have been captivating audiences for nearly a century with their epic tales. It's time for the MCU to rise to the occasion and deliver the kind of visionary storytelling that Marvel fans know and love. Honestly, it's not that hard. Granted, fan fiction is full of shady things, don't get me wrong, but there are clean fan fiction out there. I used to write it. I used to write a lot of fan fiction myself. I deleted it all, so don't go out there and try to find it, because it's gone. I didn't want any of my 14-year-old ideas of the world leaking out into my adult life, But if you go out onto these fan fiction websites, there are adults writing fan fiction about what they would have preferred to have happen in the MCU. They even write out scripts, whole script treatments, casting treatments. You see this all over Twitter, all over Instagram, all over YouTube, especially now with AI image generators making it easier to make your ideas of what could have happened, come to life a little bit. And it wouldn't be hard for Disney to reach out to these people and say, look, we like what you're doing. We want to buy the rights to your fan fiction. Come on over here and we'll integrate it into the MCU. We appreciate you doing the heavy lifting of knowing this material inside and out and attributing some passion to it, some much needed passion to it. But they don't want to do that. And it's because it doesn't fall in line with the agenda, the message, as it's more popularly known. And that's why they won't reach out to people who have successful ideas in how to go forward from the smoldering mess of Phase 5, This is why they're not going to reach out and make sure that you have people who are actually talented and passionate about this medium even, is because it doesn't fit the message. They need people to come in and carry the water of the agenda moving forward. And that's not going to be people who want to tell an engaging story and borrow or maybe even just whole cake adapt Marvel comic sagas, like straight on through. Secret Invasion should have been something much more spectacular than old man Samuel L. Jackson wandering around grumbling to himself. You know, it should have been more interesting than, oh, everybody you know and, had some fun time with, just about anybody who was funny in the MCU, they're an alien that hates Earth. Yeah, okay, that's neat, thanks. I was expecting Darcy to turn into, you remember Darcy, Kat Dennings, Kat Dennings? I was expecting Darcy to, turn into a Skrull. Out of all the characters to have been a secret Skrull, like Darcy made the most sense, but nope, not gonna do it. Either way, this is where we're at now with the MCU, where the actors themselves are admitting that the higher ups have no idea what they're doing and refuse to do adaptations of the existing material. That's the other big elephant in the room with all of this, right? Is that there's all of this pre-existing stuff. Like the comic books act as a storyboard. Like 90% of getting this movie started is already in the comic books themselves. But no, they're too prideful. They've got to put their stink on it. That's the only way they're going to allow it to be a thing. And in reality, nothing's going to change this. Even if Perlmutter and Peltz get in there and they turn everything upside down, it's still not going to turn around fast enough. You've got the fourth rewrite of Captain America: Brave New World, or whatever they're calling it now. Yeah. What are you going to do? Is that movie ever going to come out? No, they just announced Avengers 5 that has no villain, has no title, has no team, has no build up to the team even. So it all has to basically take place in Captain America: New World Order, or whatever they're calling it, or not. They're just going to slap you in the face with a new Avengers team and hope it works out because, stop asking questions and get excited for next product. We'll see you in the next video though, and until then, good luck out there.